Good afternoon. This is the Public Works and Finance Committee meeting of the Moscow City Council. I am Gina Terusio. To my left and my right are Councilors Lewis and Laughlin. To my far left is City Supervisor Bill Belknap. This is Monday, July 25th. Our first item is the approval of the Public Works and Finance Committee meeting of July 11th.
It's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, the minutes from that meeting are approved. All right, our second item, and the reason Jen Piffner is coming up here, is the update to the Resolution 2022-19, which is a time change for Bootzer's Outdoor Concert Entertainment District event. Could we add any more words?
I tried to take a few out, but they're definitely, it's definitely a title. So this resolution was actually approved last council meeting. Just came to our attention that there is a time alignment that we could make, having the event run from 6 to 9 rather than 7 to 10. And so that's the only change in the resolution, but bringing it back for committee's consideration and council's approval.
Okay.
If I may, I distribute an updated copy of that resolution in front of you. Me, I want to just add some notations in there to clarify this is replacing Resolution 2219. So just two notations that reflect that.
Cool. I haven't looked at that. There just seemed to me to be a little confusion. I mean, I got it. Because when on page, maybe it's cleared up in this new one, but on the documents here, the noise ordinance actually said 7 to 9. And so, did you know that? Because they referred it back and wanted to do it consistent with the noise ordinance, but the noise ordinance says 7 to 9.
And I would have to go back and double check. I'm sitting in for Amanda Argona this afternoon. Amanda typically works with those. The noise ordinance itself, do they only need the permit from 7 to 9? It's approved up until 7 would be the one thing I'd want to double check.
No, I just said what time were they looking for it. It's on page 18 of their document.
Oh, gotcha. So that would be 6 to 9. That is when the performers will be performing.
Okay,
So 6 to 9.
On their permit, it said it wanted to be consistent with the permit, but their permit said 7 to 9, and what we're asking for is 6 to 9. I have no problem giving it to them. It's just there's some inconsistency here between those two things.
We should have cleaned up that 7 to a 6 when we updated this to bring it to you today.
Okay, so anyways, I just thought I'd point that out, that we should probably make that consistent with their noise ordinance. Change their noise ordinance to 6 versus to 7.
Yes.
Page 18, go for it.
I don't have any concerns, and so if Maureen's are addressed, I'm happy.
Okay, I want to say consent and that we recommend approval.
Good.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Pat. And
Yeah.
Jen. Okay, our next item is the block party alcohol use permit in Entertainment District.
Yes, so the block party, formerly known as the Vandaltown Block Party, is back after a COVID hiatus. We've got a great group that Amanda's working with from the university, including Asui Recruitment. Everybody's really at the table for this one, and it's very, very nice to see it moving forward. That is scheduled for August 27th from 4 to 8 p.m. between 3rd and 5th Street. So that's the smaller footprint that we typically see on Main Street, where they're looking at up to 5 licensed beer or wine vendors. This was similar to Art Walk in that we plan for 5 and then we see who's available, who's willing to participate, and then finalize details from there. Reviewed and approved by all staff as of mid-July. Standard operating procedures that we follow with all of these. We can now say all of these entertainment district events. There's been quite a few now. And then what we are asking for is the temporary suspension of the open container law for that space and that time on that date. And we have a resolution outlining that as well.
Is this meant to complement Palooza Fest? I can't remember when Palooza Fest usually happens, or is the idea that they're going to move from 6th Street that
Palooza
way?
Fest has moved a little bit over the time period I've seen it. That's typically very student focused, not necessarally community focused.
Right.
This is supposed to be that students, town gown,
Love it.
community, all jamming in the same time at same place. So.
Excited to have it back.
Yeah, no
Okay.
concerns. I'm on board.
Now, consent, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it's a
consent, and I
resolution,
say we'll recommend approval. Okay, Jen,
Oh, my
go
last
ahead.
question.
Sure.
And do you have what you need to promote it from the city perspective? Are we, like, is the university going to be gathering materials and we'll just help?
We're actually very excited because university marketing is helping us with this. And so they just came up with some preliminary designs that we saw last week. And so it'll be, it'll be great. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is the North Jackson Street parking lot paving project bid results. Bob Bouval. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's like at your forehead too. That's kind
Yeah.
of tall.
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk to you today about the North Jackson Street parking lot project. This project, we put it out to bid this summer. We got the bids back July 15th. We received one bid.
Oh.
And from Motley, the project is to replace the south bay of the North Jackson Street parking lot. We recently, last year, maybe the year before, resealed the north bay of the parking lot as that pavement was in a little bit better shape. And so now we're working on replacing the southern bay. As part of the project as well, we're going to update the highway approaches, the road approaches going in and out of the parking lot. They're
Excellent.
currently
That's great.
they are currently not ADA compliant. So as we're going in and repairing the parking lot, we're gonna fix that too.
Okay.
Another element of the project is, as I was doing the design of the project, the adjacent property owner received a complaint from one of his tenants about some broken sidewalk in front of his property.
Oh, okay.
And just out of coincidence, I was working on this project, and when I received the call, and I said, "Hey, I'm actually looking at doing some sidewalk work. We can maybe lump that in there together, and you can just
Good.
pay for your portion of it."
Great.
So I added that into the project as an alternate, and after the bid, I talked with the property owner. They're excited about it. They're going to move forward with the replacement. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so we're gonna select the alternate. So the one bid that we got came in for $102,000, 523. The engineer's estimate was 111,590, and the CIP budget for the project was $100,000. So, or 100,000. No, yeah.
Yeah, 100,000.
Yep,
Yeah.
100,000. So everything was looking like it was going to work out well, and we're excited to move forward with it.
Yeah.
And so,
So I just have to point out that this is like the second time you've been here with news that we made the bid or under. It was pretty exciting when I was reading this again. I thought we were on a roll, which is a great thing.
Well, we have been updating our estimate numbers, and so our estimates are starting to catch up with.
You know, it's just like, let's just acknowledge it's kind of fun to be
Yeah.
getting bids going
Price is
through
right.
from my
Yeah,
perspective. The other question I really have is, who's the neighbor?
it's the owner of White Pine
Okay.
Outfitters, Tyler Nash.
Right, okay. There's just a series of different things, so I just wondered which one it was, but it was kind of fun to get somebody to split part of the cost with us.
Go ahead.
I have a question for the directionally challenged. Not saying it's me. So the North Jackson lot that the city owns is the both the lot behind the Friendship Square, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about the one behind Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it extends. We're not responsible for the Wells Fargo drive-through or the 2 rows of Wells Fargo parking. Is
No.
it just like the 3 rows from what is that behind Coulter's Creek extending
Access.
to White Pine?
Yeah, right up against.
And so my question is, because I'm guessing that those folks who have parking permits for those, because there's a couple apartments around there, what's our plan for communicating with them?
Well, once
They don't get
Two
parking
things,
for a little
two things.
while?
One is communicating, and the other one is what is our plan, period.
Yeah.
Well, we
parking.
can't, the plan for parking, the plan would be that once we have a schedule from the contractor, we would put signage up within the parking area that lets people know probably about a week in advance of when it was going to close down. We would do some social media and press releases, and then as far as like supplying alternate parking, I don't think we have any plan for
Yeah.
that, but
What kind of impact is it? How many families that we are, or cars? Are we aware of that?
I don't know the numbers on that. It's fairly as I've been out there quite a bit, it's
Looks like it's 30-ish spots maybe.
But in just the South Bay, there's 10 stalls we'd be affecting. So the North Bay won't have any impact on. There's 10 stalls that temporarily during the asphalt replacement, and then the permits are good in any public parking lot. So
Yeah.
if somebody's displaced, they can park here in the spaces here at City Hall. They can park in the South Jackson. So there's plenty of spaces available for the 10 vehicles that be displaced during the course of construction. And this shouldn't take too long to complete. What's the duration on the project, Bob?
we gave them 30 construction days, and they have to have it done by the end of October.
Yeah.
So is it not
Not that.
So
this? It's
just our
literally this
South
goofy
Bay,
one.
Correct.
I would say
So it's
we would-
$100,000 to pave this little buddy.
And do all the
and
concrete
do all
in
the
front of
concrete
both.
along the front.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
But
Welcome to supply chain.
oh my gosh, you guys.
I'll
I
also
would
point out that they've actually sent, at least my contractor got notice that said they're only having half the supply of cement this year that they had last year. So things all went way high.
I mean, I feel better that we're not displacing because I was picturing it being this whole bay as well. So
Well,
I didn't realize it was
I do
just
want to clarify
study.
that we will be taking that approach away for a period of time, and so I'm not
Improvements.
sure how functional that. I mean, we could potentially try to block off some parking spots at the end to create like a turnaround scenario and allow people to access that from the alley.
Yeah.
And so we could potentially do some things like that to maybe not remove all those. But
And if they could potentially replace that northern driveway approach before they demolish the southern parking lot, then at least we could maybe keep one active, some available while they're working on the other.
yeah, I didn't have it like that in the specifications. I could try to convince them to do that, but yeah, that wasn't part of the plan.
I think it's a good
Oh, yeah.
upgrade, and I'm glad we're doing it. And
I'm
I
glad we're
know
doing
it
it too.
is inconvenient, but it is a short-term inconvenience. And there are ample spots. So,
That
okay,
that South Bay is in pretty rough condition.
yes.
Yes, it is.
I have been in that South Bay.
Yeah, no, it's
Consent.
needed. I'm happy with
Consent.
the bid coming in under our estimates. I just want to, even after the downtown workshop, there's clearly two firm camps of not enough parking or it's not an issue. And I imagine the people who have city parking permits may favor the one saying there's not enough parking. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I would be happy to recommend acceptance of the low
Okay.
bid from Motley.
We're going to put it on consent too.
Great.
Okay. Bob, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our second to the last item is the Moscow Chamber of Commerce Visitor and Tourism Services Agreement. Moscow Chamber of Commerce Visitor and Tourism Services Agreement. Again, could we add any more words? Okay, and you are handling this, Mr. Belknap.
Yes. So as the council is aware, the city has supported the activities of the Chamber of Commerce for many, many years
Indeed.
as it benefits and supports the community in visitor and tourism activities. We have not had a formalized agreement. What historically the council has received is a letter of request talking about activities. And there have been legal challenges actually in our region about those types of informal agreements as being characterized as being illegal donations to entities. So that is something that we want to make sure that is protected by having a services agreement. So if we are contributing $17,000 or $20,000 to an organization, the city has a contract for services that the city could otherwise provide that we are contracting with this entity to perform on behalf of the city. So that's something we've been working through, looking at those beyond just a membership due, any of those agreements where we have services we're providing and we are providing public funds to another private or nonprofit entity that we have that memorialized in a written agreement. So that's what this is intended to do. This essentially is a 3-year agreement. The request this year was increased from the 17,000 previously to 20,000. That 17, I think we've been at the 17,000 level for at least 5 years in support or more. So the chamber did request an increase, and these funds are used as matching funds to the state tourism program grants, which bring in considerable amount of money to help support and promote tourism within the region. It would have a 3% annual escalator to just cover increased costs and inflation. And there's a list that has the scope of services that the chamber
Right.
would be obligated to provide and perform. That includes establishing, operating, and maintaining a visitor information center for the purposes of sharing information with visitors and guests, applying for the Idaho Travel Council grant to fund regional promotional activities, developing and assisting with any strategic marketing for Moscow in the area to increase tourism, developing, maintaining, distributing tourism brochures and other collateral materials to appropriate off-site locations, such as local hotels, visitor centers, similar tourist destinations, and so forth. So I won't read the whole list, but those are the primary activities. So
Sure.
as staff, we're looking to kind of formalize that relationship and would recommend, the committee recommend approval of the agreement.
Appreciate the relationship between the chamber and the university and the city. I think it's a great thing, and I'm glad we're all part of it, and we appreciate the work they do. So it's consent for me.
And I am here to disclose that I was recently elected to the board of directors for the chamber in my role for my day job at SEL. And after consulting with Mia, our city attorney, an agreement like this doesn't directly provide, cash in pocket for me. So if we're comfortable, I'm comfortable also recommending approval of this service agreement.
Great.
Yeah.
And engaging on the topic instead of abstaining.
Yes.
Right on. Does it change the relationship in any way?
Nope.
Okay, and there's no oversight or implied oversight from the city versus, because the relationship has been more partner, right? And so with this service agreement, does it change the relationship at all?
It really shouldn't. It's just memorializing the services the chamber already provides in exchange for the financial contribution and support from the city.
Are you still the ex officio contact? Isn't there still a city
The
ex
mayor.
officio? The mayor serves as.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm completely in favor of it
Yeah.
as well, and I think we could do consent.
Right.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay,
Thank you.
yes. Mr. Belknap, are there any staff reports?
There are not.
Okay, then 17 minutes and 5 seconds into this, are we ready to adjourn?
Yes, this is a record, I think. We've been kind of short, but
Don't
this
mess
is
around.
this is a pretty quick one.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.